Welcome to Python Fundamentals 2. Every data pipeline is built on two simple moves: decisions and repetition. Today, we'll learn to filter and summarize real data using Python's core tools. Episode 6 of the Data Science course is brought to you by the Series of Thoughts team and Technovative AI.
We are currently at episode 6. We'll be using the mini dataset from episode 5, so please have Hello Data, IPYNB open and ready as we work with conditions and loops. By the end of this video, you'll be able to implement branching logic in your code, automate tasks using loops, and combine these to filter and summarize your own datasets. Let's start with part 1, branching. Before writing code, we need a clear mental model of how our decisions will fork based on different conditions. Consider this workflow. For every customer, if they're inactive and high value, flag them for outreach. This sentence contains both repetition and a decision. Think of decisions as forks in the road. You have a true path and a false path. Drawing this diagram helps clarify the logic before you translate it into Python. When you need more than two paths, use elif. Python evaluates conditions in order and takes the first one that is true, ignoring all subsequent paths. Here is an example. Defining a revenue tier based on thresholds. Python processes these top to bottom and exits as soon as one condition evaluates to true. Real decisions often involve multiple criteria. You can combine conditions using and/or, and use parentheses to group logic, just as you would in math. Now, let's practice. Open your notebook and try writing these conditions against a single customer record to see how Python evaluates your logic. Next, we move to part 2, repetition. Loops allow us to automate tasks, ensuring we never have to copy-paste the same logic for every item. Think of a for loop, like a conveyor belt. The loop body is the action applied to each item as it passes by, repeating automatically until the collection is empty. Indentation is crucial in Python. It defines the scope of your loop. Remember, every time you use a colon, the following block must be indented. In this example, we iterate through a list of customers and print their names. Note that the loop visits every record. It doesn't filter on its own. To filter, we place an if statement inside the loop. Now, Python visits every record but only executes the print action for customers who are active. Now, let's explore the accumulator pattern. This is the workhorse of manual data analysis. Master this single pattern, and you can build any summary statistic by hand. The accumulator pattern consists of 3 steps: initialize, loop, and accumulate. Always initialize your collector variable before the loop to prevent it from resetting on every iteration. In this example, we count active customers. By initializing "count_active" to 0 before the loop, we ensure we build a total as we iterate through each record. The pattern remains identical for different metrics, like revenue. Just change what you add and what you initialize. The structure ensures consistency and accuracy. While for loops are our default for iterating over data, while loops are useful when the number of iterations is unknown, such as when waiting for a condition to change. Moving to part 3, it's time for a mini project. We'll combine filtering and accumulation on a 10-record dataset to solidify these concepts. Copy this dataset into your notebook. It contains 10 records with some deliberate edge cases, like inactive customers with high revenue, to test your filtering logic. Our challenge: identify active customers with revenue over $1,000 and calculate their combined revenue. Break the problem down into filtering, metrics, and loop structure. Here is the solution code. Notice how we use a compound and condition for the filter, and maintain 2 accumulators to track both count and revenue. Pause the video and apply these steps to your own episode 5 dataset. Complete all 3 tasks: count qualifying records, sum a numeric field, and collect names into a list. Use this table as your guide for the deliverable. Ensure your logic covers filtering, accumulation, and list collection in your control flow, IPYNB notebook. Let's deep dive into key concepts. Mastering these will help you move beyond just making code work to writing truly clean and efficient data logic. Remember, always initialize your accumulators outside the loop. Placing them inside resets your count every iteration, which is a classic bug that ruins your results. Watch your nesting levels. Aim for shallow code with at most 2 levels of indentation. If you find yourself nesting deeper, it's a sign to simplify your logic. Finally, the classification pattern. Using if, elif, and else to categorize records is fundamental to data pipelines. You'll see this logic everywhere, even in professional tools like pandas. Now let's build a filtered list using the .append method. Instead of just counting your results, you can collect the specific items that match your criteria into a new list, creating a powerful subset of your original data. When writing loops, you may encounter errors like indentation error or key error. Remember to check your indentation levels and verify your dictionary keys. If your counts seem off, double-check that you initialized your accumulator outside the loop. We are now ready for our pandas preview. You've done the hard work of building loops by hand, and that foundation will make learning advanced data tools much easier. Look at the difference between your Python loop and a pandas query. While the pandas version is just one line, it is essentially performing the exact same logic you just spent time building. This is vectorization. Whether you are using pandas, SQL, or Spark, you are ultimately running optimized, compiled versions of the loops you wrote today. Understanding the loop allows you to master these high-performance tools. To recap, remember the 3 takeaways. Pipelines are built on decisions and repetition, the accumulator pattern is your primary tool, and every advanced shortcut is just a loop hidden beneath the surface. We covered branching, compound conditions, iteration, and the accumulator pattern. These concepts are the building blocks for all data analysis you will perform throughout this course. In the next episode, we will solve the problem of repetitive logic by using functions. By naming our ideas, we make our code reusable and much easier to maintain. Think of this as a journey. Today you mastered loops and conditions. Next we move to functions, which leads directly to our capstone project in episode 8, where you will analyze a full-scale dataset. You're ready. Open your notebook and complete the deliverable tasks to solidify your understanding. See you in the next episode, where we will dive into clean code principles.